Today, we're going to talk about and answer the question that's been looming for some of, is Bank of America using XRP for transactions? That's been a question many have had, and Max has dug up some great information for us that we're going to look at today. Isn't that the topic today for us, brother?
Absolutely, brother. It is the topic of the day. Yesterday, I was talking to Will about this subject, but there was an answer that wasn't completed. There's a particular gentleman from the XRP Army who, in my opinion, has something conclusive to give an answer of this question. And shout out to Bank XRP. He brought it up. Shout out to Rue Black, who also gave me some of the information. Let's jump into that information and what matters. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Before we jump right into it, going to be a quick ad in regards to the Decent Wallet. It helps both channels. And basically, here it is. If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. It's just a few taps. You can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure. All right, welcome back. As promised, let's jump into this update. First thing we're going to get into is this right here, believe it or not, from Watch Your Guru. And some of you guys seen this earlier today, and I guess it's worth pointing out. What is it? It's this whole thing of Bank of America says it no longer expects the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates this year. People in the community ask, what does this mean for the market? This is a loaded question. If there's no Fed rate cuts, it means higher borrowing costs, pressures, growth stocks and bonds, while favoring value stocks for short-term bonds. People are kind of mixed about it, but at the end of the day, it was posted. Is this good or bad news? Well, you guys give that answer. But nonetheless, I thought I'd bring this up. It's this gentleman. He is referred to as the CEO of Bank of America, Brian Moynihan, explains why banks are looking for a quick resolution to the back and forth on Basel III rules. He also says that the U.S. population cannot grow without immigration. Is that a true statement? That's not the point. The point is Basel III rules. As we know, Basel III, basically speaking, is the oversight of the central banks. And not to confuse it with the BIS, Bank for International Settlements, is referred to as the central bank of central banks. And of course, Banque de France is their oversight, but Basel III is for all of those particular central banks. So new framework, new rules. Well, listen to what he has to say, and we'll connect everything in regards to this update about if Ripple XRP is truly using Bank of America or the other way around for actual transactions. Could this be the big step forward that we're all looking for in regards to actually seeing some of these banks literally use XRP internally, and as Will would say, externally? Well, we'll try to get into it. Let's go ahead and play this. Video is not too long, and then we'll give you guys some key takeaway from the one and only Will Fix. Here we go.
That just goes on. So something like Basel III has been going on for years, and you're saying, please just get it done so we can get on with life and figure out how to adjust the business model, but don't be overburdening in it. So I think that's what you're feeling with some of this, and I think the court system is saying, wait a second. Whether it was the Chevron doctrine, all these, whether it was a statement that, look, we need regulatory agents to be able to go and do what they're doing. Wait, maybe that's swung too far, that there's too much activism in the regulatory side as opposed to the court side. And if you go back and read the great civil rights cases, there was extreme activism to right the wrongs of the past in the court side. I think the court's saying, hey, let's either have Congress really write the laws that they want with precision, let the regulatory agencies interpret them, and we're here to make sure that that goes right. And that's what I think you saw in those 4 cases.
Brian, Bank of America, of course, is a true global company. One of the things that strikes me as interesting is I think the U.S. economy right now is the envy of the world.
It is.
I think whenever you think about American exceptionalism, when it comes to the economy, it's an exceptional economy. Yeah. And yet, within the economy, we're constantly criticizing and having doubts, and it's not working right and things like that. What do we need to do as an economy, and this can be Washington or it can be private business, to make sure we continue to have that growth, that innovation, that disruption, constructive disruption?
So if you look at the stats, 80% of the flows have come into this country, chasing the opportunities of the repatriation of the chips industry, of the clean energy industry, of infrastructure, all coming here. Certainty of work rules, certainty of tax rate, and certainty of sort of investment and return, all going. They're going to the states, honestly, that are the fastest at permitting. So if you ask me to say, what are the fastest things? If you want to build more housing, you got to permit it faster. If you want to get the green projects done, you got to permit them faster. That's in control of the locals. That's hard for the federal government, but that is a government obligation. The second thing is to provide incentives where you want it. If you want more housing, you got to keep providing tax benefits. They were talking about taking them away in the capital calculations that we were talking about. Well, we're going to slow down doing it. We do $5 billion of low and moderate income housing a year. So we are a major because we get a tax benefit. Our tax rate is 9%. People say, oh my God, your tax rate's low. It would be 25% if we didn't get the benefits from low-income housing investment and environment. So the governments have to give clear rules about permitting and implementation. They need to not keep changing the rules about how you get, how taxes work and things like that, because people are making 10 and 15-year investments. And then they've got to think about, do we have the worker capacity to actually fulfill the dreams? And that's the trickier thing, because without population growth organically, and by the way, we're no different in Europe and other countries or China, you have a problem that if you have more demand for workers, you better have workers, you just create inflation. And AI and everything's going to come, but not now. It's not here now. And by the way, even if you said we can grow the population, it takes 18 years to make an 18-year-old. So you're not going to change population dynamics near term, and our population without immigration doesn't grow in this country. And that's something you can't change. You're not going to change in any historical context. It's been like that for years. So we got to have a rational immigration. So we need workers and talent workers and general workers. We need a fair tax code that people can understand, and that's what they did. And then you need the investment strategy and incentives for certain businesses. But on top of all that, you also need that local permitting so that things can get done with pace. And in a lot of the environmental stuff, it's been fascinating to watch how long it takes. But by the way, we're not alone. In European countries, it takes 7 or 8 years to deploy a wind farm. So does in the US. You're just saying, guys, if we want this, you can't take 7 years to plan it out.
Okay, so obviously there's a whole thing of the want and need of getting Basel III done. Yeah, he went into the whole topic of immigration and so on. But before I get Will's takeaway, I want to show you guys just something briefly in regards to the update. This right here comes from another source. And what is the source? Here's the Crypto Times. You can go to cryptotimes.io. You will see that this was published literally 2 days ago. Bank of America uses XRP for 100% internal transactions. It may very well usher in XRP as one of the significant components of course, global banking systems. As I take you to this next part, shout out to Bank XRP. He points out that, look, there's something to be shared here. Yes, this is old, but nonetheless, even showing this on the other screen as I make this bigger, you see in the highlight with the patent, Ripple Distributed Ledger Technology, and you see Ripple ILP. As we know, Ripple uses the Interledger protocol. So interesting to see that. And yes, of course, that particular patent timed out, but guess what? As also pointed out here, we see where he asked the community, the Army, XRP Army, does anyone have links to updated ones? And guess what, everybody? The answer is yes. It's this gentleman. As I pull this up on the next screen, this person, who I want to give a shout out to, his name is DVDTMV, points out that if you go to bankofamerica.com/company/patent, you'll see a cross-reference to the patents, the full text from the United States Patent Office, and describes the ones related to XRP and Ripple. Here's the highlight. After reviewing 25 of these pages, he saw patents listed on Bank of America's patent page and cross-referencing with some of this. And for example, details of the patents directly related to Ripple's technology. It's this one, US 10235-634B1 title, quote, settlement system using distributed ledger for real-time net settlement of transactions. Description. This patent describes a system for a real-time net settlement of transactions using a distributed ledger technology. specifically mentions Ripple in the context of distributed ledger. Can be used for settling transactions, of course, between banks. The system allows for pre-funded accounts and real-time updates to ledger balances. Can help with reducing settlement times and risks associated with traditional banking systems. The technology aims to facilitate interbank communication and settlements using decentralized ledger where both banks can verify transactions. Now, he does state, and of course, some of you guys are going to point this out as well, XRP is not explicitly mentioned, but the reference to Ripple implies a connection to Ripple's technology. And of course, there's more about this, but nonetheless, I thought this was definitely worth pointing out. And if anything, that's why I brought it to you. Will, I do want to get your take on some of this, because if Bank of America has this going on as we speak, well, it's just a matter of time before the other ones hop on board because of all the partnerships and the pilots that already happened. How many partnerships does Ripple have? Giant grocery list, to say the least. Your thoughts?
Right. Noticed in the article that it mentioned interledger protocol in the diagram that you had about the patent. And an interledger protocol is different than just distributed ledger protocol. And that article, whoever was writing that article, I don't know if they confused the two, but they were speaking about cross-border. Well, the patent isn't relating to cross-border, in my opinion, because Ripple already does that. That there's nothing for them to do for that reason. But it looks like it's the interledger protocol. And I would say the answer to the equation is they are 100% using it for all the transactions and settlements within the company. Now, there's no regulations that they have to, I mean, they don't have regulations that they have to follow for how they do their own systems. And so they have the ledger where they can track and see every payment. This department sent this money to that department. That money was settled, blah, blah, blah. That seems to be what the patent was about. And they're using it. Now, the fact that they're using it for 100% of the company's transactions is definitely weighted the answer of, are they going to use it for cross-border? Well, that's almost like, duh, of course they are, because once they add that, the entire system is ran by Ripple's technology inside and outside. So to me, this looks very positive towards the idea of, are they using it? Yes. Do they have the patent? Yes. Is it fully implemented? Yes, 100%. And are they going to use Ripple for cross-border transactions and all their other activities? Well, I mean, with all of those other yeses, wouldn't it be weird to say, no, they're going to keep some old technology? They're going to stick with the SWIFT system. Of course they're going to use XRP. So I think it's fabulous what you dug up here, because it actually puts all the answers together.
Well, thank you, kind sir. The way I look at it is, I love the way you break things down, the way you explain it. And that's what we do. That's why we team up. So, guys, this was a quick video just to get right into what matters most. This has been brought up, various different communities and so on. Will and I thought we'd give you our own take with the findings, and more importantly, an update from a particular person from the XRP army to give his own key takeaway. How cool was that? So if you haven't done so already, if you're new, all we ask is you smash that like, even if you're regular too. And if we earned your subscription, then thank you for blessing us with that. As the saying goes, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research drums flood 110%. On behalf of myself and Will, we'll see you.
See you next video.
The next one. Hey guys, I just want to point out something real quick in regards to Uphold with you guys. A lot of you guys are familiar with Uphold or heard about it, but if you're brand new to all this and don't have an account, basically there's some benefits. It benefits me, it benefits you. This is a win-win. But one thing I want to point out to really pound it home with Uphold is, for example, XDC. As we know with XDC, a lot of us have to jump through the hoops of like KuCoin, use a VPN to kind of get around things. This is American Basic Exchange with Uphold. You don't have to do that. You can get your XDC here, and yeah, not having to deal with that is a great thing. You could also get XRP here. Again, American Basic Exchange. There's a refer and earn. Bottom line is, if you deposit $100, I get 20, you get 20. It's a win-win for both of us. And of course, that's in BTC, but again, you can swap that to any of these particular altcoins. Another benefit of Uphold is, unlike Coinbase, they're not going to freeze your assets at the height of a bull run. And that's a really, really good thing, right? Nobody wants that. So check it out. Links are in the description if you would like to take advantage of the 20. And yeah, a win for both of us. How cool is that? Links in the description, both on the live and on the recorded. Thanks, guys. Over and out.